The debate over making daylight saving time permanent is back in Congress, but did you know we've already tried it and Americans actually hated it? Almost 50 years ago in 1974, Congress began a 2-year experiment to keep daylight saving time permanent and stop the clocks from moving. But the experiment was reversed after only 10 months when it became clear it wasn't working. At the time, the idea to make daylight saving time permanent started as a potential solution to the ongoing energy crisis, with experts thinking additional sunlight in the evenings of the winter months would help. But extra light in the evening means extra darkness in the morning. When kids headed to school and parents started their morning commutes in January 1974, it was pitch black, with the sun not rising until 8:30 a.m. or later in areas across the country. There are reports from the time of kids carrying flashlights and parents creating fluorescent jackets for them to be more visible as they waited at the bus stops. Real concern over the change came after 8 children were struck by cars and died in Florida. The state's governor tried to change only Florida's clocks back, but the effort failed. 1 month into the trial, one of the bill's co-authors was quoted in the New York Times as saying, "The time to admit a mistake is when you've made one." He even admitted that the policy probably wasn't even saving energy, as parents started driving their kids to school rather than allowing them to walk in the dark. Public support collapsed. In December of 1973, 79% of Americans surveyed supported the change, but by February 1974, it was down to only 42%. In August 1974, the same month President Richard Nixon resigned over Watergate, the House voted to repeal the law, and the Senate followed soon after. In October, President Gerald Ford signed it, and 3 weeks later, Americans rolled their clocks back like they'd been doing for decades before and we've been doing for decades since. Now, 50 years later, as politicians once again contemplate tinkering with time, would the outcome be any different? Perhaps it's all a case of be careful what you wish for.